Hello, this is Tom Britt. West Tennessee PBS is working hard to bring you more local shows and quality PBS programs. And they need your financial help because they don't run commercials, they rely on your support. It's easy to donate. Go to their website, westtnpbs.org, and click on the Donate tab. Your donations to Channel 11 stay local and help WLJT-TV continue their mission to be as local as possible.
Madam President. Greetings, everybody. T.J. King. He was born and raised in Selmer, Tennessee, and is the product of McNary Central High School. He attended Austin Peay and earned his degree in public management with a concentration in criminal justice. T.J. has worked several jobs prior to his law enforcement career. He's been a youth director at Lambeth Memorial United Methodist Church, assistant manager at the Old Country Store, a child protective services investigator with the Tennessee Department of Children's Services. In 2004, he started his law enforcement career with Martin PD, working as a school resource officer at Westview High School. In 2008, we were lucky enough to have him move over to the Madison County Sheriff's Office, where he's worked in patrol, SRO, investigations, and he's overseen Criminal Investigation Division Violent Crime Unit as a sergeant. TJ is a 2014 graduate of Leadership Jackson and the 261st session of the FBI's National Academy. TJ also attended the prestigious Southeastern Leadership Academy in Chattanooga, Tennessee. In 2021, he was awarded the Crime Stoppers Top Cop of the Year. TJ is now the director of the Juvenile Court Services over Madison County. He's married to his wife, Amanda King, maiden name Stewart, and they have two children, Maddie and Will. And it is a beautiful thing to see somebody whose talents align with their occupation, and TJ is that. So I'm honored to introduce him to you today. Without further ado, T.J. King.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Wow, I'm blessed and honored to be here with you today. Thank you, Commissioner Bryant, for the honor and the privilege of being here and really and truly just speaking with you. I am honored. For as long as I can remember, I've always felt the need to help others. From Lakeshore United Methodist Assembly, where I worked as a counselor for 2 summers during college, to being a youth director at Lambeth Memorial, assistant manager at the Old Country Store, onto the Department of Children's Services, where I worked as a CPS investigator, and then the privilege to work for 2 fantastic law enforcement agencies, one in Martin PD and one here in Madison County. So I've been blessed. Throughout my professional career, I've worked extremely hard to do what I could to better my community, to do my part as a Christian man, husband, and father. In each of those jobs, I moved on because I felt God was challenging me to do more. The challenge is daunting and ever present, but over the last 2 years, I've had the honor of working as your director of Juvenile Court Services here in Madison County. I've had the opportunity to take on an even bigger role of preventing crime and protecting the citizens of Madison County. And I am proud to say I have a great team and staff at Juvenile Court Services, consisting of about 54 employees right now. And we battle this together on a daily basis. But I'll come back to what I really want to talk about a little bit later on. I just want to kind of get an idea of what you have in mind about juvenile crime. And I hate standing behind a podium, so I'm going to venture out. I want to make sure that y'all in the back can hear me.
Here's this mic right here.
Can y'all hear me now? All right. Well, like I said, T.J. King, Director of Juvenile Court Services. Let me get this to working. All right. Can everybody hear me? Very good. So, I'm going to test you. What do you think consists of a juvenile crime? What is a juvenile crime that you think of? Sheriff, I'm gonna put you on the spot. What's a juvenile crime that you think of? Burglary, shoplifting. What are some others? Trespassing. Sadly, murder, and we'll get into that. Yes, sir. Vandalism. Driving without a license. Those are very, very common juvenile crimes. Those are something that JPD and the Sheriff's Office deal with on a daily basis. But that's not all juvenile crime. And just so you know, those types of juvenile crimes are on the decline. So when you hear the stat that juvenile crime is down, yes, that is accurate. But juvenile violent crimes are up. Sheriff, you made mention that murder and attempted murder. We have shootings every day, unfortunately. We have gun crimes are up, and those are attributed to a lot of burglaries, auto burglaries, because we as a community fail to lock our doors, fail to take care of our weapons that we have available to us in this great country. But we've got to be more responsible. We've got to take care of those things, because every night we are having auto burglaries in our communities, and those things are winding up in the hands of our juveniles. Gang violence, it's ever present. It's here, and it's going to remain here until we finally say we've had enough of it. And that's not just something that we can do here as a Rotary Club. That is something that we have to deal with on a community basis. We have to be responsible. We have to come to court. We have to be able to stand up and witness that these things are bad, that these individuals need to be criminally prosecuted. But until then, those individuals will remain on the street. Those individuals will remain driving up these violent crimes and present to be a nuisance in our community. So until we step up as a community, as a whole, those problems are going to continue to rise. Drug use. Drug use amongst juveniles is extremely high. I challenge you to remember back in the day, and I'm not a spring chicken anymore, but I remember a lot of my colleagues in high school, we'd go out, get drunk on a Friday night or a weekend, and that was pretty commonplace. Now drugs are more ever present in their homes, and it's a lot to do with their parents. Their parents are smoking marijuana with them, which just blows my mind. But they will come to court reeking of weed. It happens. That's just the reality. Go to Kroger, go to Target, go to Walmart. Stand out there in the parking lot. It can drive right by you and you smell it. But I'm going to tell you, one of the biggest problems that we have with drug use now amongst teenagers is 1, vaping, and 2, edibles. So, me as a parent, I've got 2 children, well, 1 adult child and 1 16 going on 20. But those problems are extremely difficult to notice because the vaping, the edibles, there's no smell attached to them. Okay? So us as parents have to be more cognizant that our children are getting high. And we've got to notice that, and we've got to recognize that, and we've got to address that problem. So drug use is also up. I've put up here on the board the transfers from juvenile court over the last 5 years. In 2020, there were 6. 2021, it dropped down because of COVID, and we were still trying to recover from that. 2022, we were back up to 6. 2023, we took a big rise. We almost doubled that figure to 11. Currently in 2025, we're already at 10. It's just the 4th of June. And what a transfer means is that a 15, 16, 17-year-old student, a juvenile, is fixing to be treated like an adult. And unfortunately, our society, we had to go to that route because gangs were taking advantage of our juveniles in our communities. Those juveniles were wanting to be in the gang. And the experienced leaders, the OGs, original gangsters, were saying, hey, do this for me and you're in. And so those juveniles would do that crime, whether it be a shooting, whether it be a murder, whatever. Go get this dope, bring it back here. They were being put on the line. And back in the day, the early 2000s, legislators finally said, we've had enough of it. And they said, we're fixing to do a transfer status here in Tennessee that will make those juveniles that commit those crimes eligible to be treated like an adult. And so you had a little turn with the gang violence because these 15-year-olds were being treated like an adult and being sentenced like an adult. Now, a juvenile that gets transferred cannot receive the death penalty. However, they can receive life in prison for their crimes. Life in prison as a 15 or 16-year-old. One mistake. That's pretty daunting to me. But those are just some of the trends. Let me show you of another trend that we've got. This is the 23-24 school year. This long list is of students that had made threats of mass violence in a school. In 2023, 2024, we had 25. Bless you. In 24, 25, just this past school year, we've almost had 30. This is a growing trend that our students here in Jackson, Madison County are following suit. Now, whether it be a threat of, I'm fixing to blow up the school to get out of a test, whether it be, I'm fixing to shoot up a school just because they're bullying me, whatever. We've got 30 instances of those threats being made here in Jackson, Madison County. Unfortunately, that's the reality of our problems. I'm going to touch on this just a little bit, and it may be something that myself and Judge Little come back to you later on and talk to you about, but I'm going to talk to you briefly about our detention center. Juvenile detention is old, antiquated, and we're ready for a new one. So you're gonna hear in the next year or two quite a bit about Madison County building a new juvenile detention facility. I'm gonna tell you a few reasons why. Our juvenile court building, which Judge Little presides, was built in 1949. They had an addition made in 1952. My building, which is just down the street, and for those of you that don't know, we are located at 224 Lexington Avenue, which is at the corner of Lexington and Hayes. So if you want to come see me, I'll give you my name and number. Please come by and see. But currently we have 8 beds. There are 10 in West Tennessee alone. Outside of Shelby County, there are 10 for these type of individuals. And I'm gonna tell you, just last month, we were full up with 8, and 6 of those individuals were being transferred for either attempted murder or murder. And those were ours. Those weren't somebody else's kids. Those were Madison County's, okay? Currently, we have 5 incarcerated. This is my daily summary from Monday. We have 5 currently there. 1 we're housing for Montgomery County out of Clarksville. 1 we're housing for Chester County. And the rest are ours. But we need a lot more space. And West Tennessee needs a lot more space because these sheriffs are having to transport kids because we're full a lot of times. And we'll have to transport them from wherever they are here in West Tennessee to a facility in East Tennessee because they have beds available. That's not necessarily a problem because we do have beds available, but it's in East Tennessee. So one that takes that sheriff's office, takes 2 people to transport. They're going to Ray County in East Tennessee. That's a 7-hour drive. And that takes 2 deputies all day long. They'll have to stay in a hotel. And then 7 hours back. That's not counting when they have doctor's appointments or court cases or court hearings. That's a lot of manpower and money that is being distributed out to other counties rather than West Tennessee. So, like I said, I'll come back, invite me back if you like me, and we'll talk about it a little bit more in depth. But I just wanted to give you a heads up. You are going to see more and more about that here in the coming months. So, our mission at Juvenile Court Services to serve the community, build stronger families, and teach accountability with a focus on rehabilitation through servant leadership. Our vision is to give these children and their families an opportunity to serve the community and build stronger families. All right, that's our sole purpose. And I'm excited to tell you that we are doing some good things here in Madison County. June 2nd, Monday, we started what is day 1 of our summer jobs program, which we have 16, 17, and 18-year-olds that may have gotten into a little bit of trouble. But we go and we get them jobs with community businesses, local businesses. Give that business the money to say, hey, I've got an individual that I want to be able to try to work with you and your business and get them a little job experience, a little reality of the working force. And so we give them an opportunity to go and do those jobs for 8 weeks. And we've seen a lot of good stuff out of it, because after the summer is over, those individuals still have jobs that these businesses are paying for themselves, okay? We also have Project Takeoff, which is a program that is designed for 13, 14, and 15-year-olds that are not necessarily in the workforce, but want to learn some life lessons and get ready for working. So we have that program available that just started on Monday as well, and we've got 25 youth in that program as of right now. Another program that we have is the tutoring mentoring program with St. Paul's CME Church and Lane College. During the school year, we try to help them get better grades, because we figured out that a lot of the behavioral issues that kids are having in class is due to them falling behind. So we want to try to help them get up to par, if not better, than where they're at in school, and do better things, be a success. Another program is the Evening Reporting Center. This is more for working parents. Say a child has gotten in trouble and mom and dad are not home after school. Because a lot of your juvenile deviancy happens when mom and dad aren't home. They're out of school, they have nothing to do. And here in Jackson-Madison County, a middle schooler or a high schooler can get out at 2:15. If mom and dad don't get off work till 6, there's a lot of time in between to get in trouble. And so we developed a program called the Evening Reporting Center, ERC, and we have 10 students that go there from 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. We house that at Lambeth University at Memphis. Memphis University at Lambeth. Listen, I'll get it. Y'all know what I was talking about. But there are a lot of things that we are doing in association with the school system, and we are trying to help. One of the biggest things that I saw when I was in law enforcement, I'm getting there, I know. One of the biggest things that I saw was I could drive on any street here in Madison County during the weekday, during a school day, and see children out there. Why aren't you in school? I don't know. Where's your parents? At work. Why aren't you in school? I don't know. That's not a good enough answer. Where are you supposed to be in school? That led me to say, what are we doing with our truant kids? Now, keep in mind, I've only been there for 2 years now in my director's role. And so we have started truancy court, and Judge Little has been gracious enough to allow one of her magistrates to help me kind of enforce the school system and truant behaviors. And not just the students, but mamas and daddies as well. And keep them accountable for their children. And whether that's a fine, whether that's dipping into their pocketbooks, or, hey, we're going to put you in a weekend down here at CJC. That's what we're going to do. If that's what it takes to get this to solve this, then that's what we're going to try to do. We have a Monarch Teacher Mentor Officer program that I'm excited about, that we are doing good things. The 3 stipulations there is I want better grades, I want no truancy, and I want less behavioral issues. And last year we did it. We had a 97% success rate, and we're probably above 80 this year, but we've had some troubling kids that have given us a little bit more problem than we had bargained for. But we're still working on them, and we're still above 80% on that. One of the next things, you may see this here very shortly. This is something that we just started this past April. Students Take On Prevention, STOP. And this is a program, kept seeing more and more kids that were testing positive for drugs. So instead of being reactive, we are trying to be more proactive. And so we've established this program to try to help that. So you'll see us at ball games, community events, health fairs, whatever. But that's another program that we have put into place. As well as all of our child and family intervention services, probation, et cetera, et cetera. So, like I said, I'm proud of my team and the things that we are doing. This is our Christmas card that we did for the county. That one was last year. I'm proud of them. They are working hard, they are doing good things, and we are excited. And in conclusion, something that I always stress to them, and I'm extremely thankful for them and grateful for the work that they do. But you as a Rotary Club, Madison County is better because of you. So continue to fight and do what you are doing now. Like I said, it's been an honor, a privilege, and I'm grateful to be here with you today. So, awesome. All right. Like I said earlier, if I need to come back, we can talk about some other things. But yes, sir.
If we need a new detention center and we're taking young people from other counties, is there an opportunity to regionalize that so Madison County's not footing the whole bill?
Yes, sir. I'm glad you brought that up. We do have state legislators as well as federal legislators that are all on board. West Tennessee does need a regional facility, and that's probably what it's going to wind up looking like. It's probably looking like us going from 8 beds to either 32 or 40 beds, and us being a West Tennessee regional juvenile detention facility. Yes, sir, in the back.
Wonder if you could give us your thoughts on how it might help or hurt crime to have year-round school for juveniles.
Year-round school, probably not. I'm not in favor of that. And the reason being is I remember when I was a student, now I wasn't the best of students. I needed a break. And I think if we looked at some ways that we are structuring that, it might be a good thing crime-wise. But at this point, I really don't have any statistical analysis of any research there. So I don't know what to tell you. I think if we were looking at crime here in Jackson, I think, Chief, you and I haven't talked about this, but we are part of Children's Cabinet, Mayor's Children's Cabinet. And so what that does is it's a collection of individuals that come together and try to alleviate major problems that are involving our youth and juvenile and children. One of those is youth violence. And one of the things that Chief and I, along with several others, have addressed are a lot of big problems, but simple solutions. And I think one of the solutions that I gave to Chief was, what happened to WBBJ saying before the newscast started, it's 10 o'clock, do you know where your kids are? Simple things, simple things. City has a city ordinance of curfew. Let's get all the parties available. Let's figure out what we can do to enforce those. Slap them on the hands. Slap Mama and Daddy on the hands. Those are the things that we need to start worrying about. The parks, if they're going to continue to shoot up our parks, then let's close them a little bit earlier. Let's get with sheriff and chief and figure out what we can do to improve our patrols, our special patrols of those areas, because all of our parks are in Madison County. Bless you. So let's get with the sheriff. Let's figure out something that we can do to improve that. Yes, sir.
Follow up that, so does crime go up or down in juveniles during the summer?
Violent crime goes up. Good weather, they're out in abundance. Bad weather during the winter, they're generally going to stay home. Now, during the wintertime, we will get a lot of domestics, arrests for domestics, but during the summertime, it's a lot more violent crime because they're out and about. Hey, I'm going outside, Mom. All right, be back at dark. Yes, ma'am.
I know you mentioned that you're seeing vaping and edibles as a problem. Is kratom on y'all's radar or any synthetic derivative of kratom? And are you aware of any legislation?
I'm not aware of any legislation at this point, but it may be something that you do reach out to your legislators and representatives, because those are things that are, and they're getting their hands on them. Whether it's an adult, like when we were juveniles, when we were youth, hey, will you buy me a 6-pack of beer? That's as easy as it is for these adults to buy a vape. They're buying our kids vapes, and we've just got to make sure that we really enforce, and we're looking, we're checking their phones, we're doing all the things, because there is so much going on out there that it's hard to police everybody, but you can police your own. So.
Are y'all able to do anything like East Town is when you have an intention that helps establish morals and a basis of life?
Not at this point, because the ones that we are holding for a long period of time are there on murder charges and very violent crimes, rapes. I think the ones that we have right now, there's one that killed 2, there's one that killed 1, and then there's one that said that he was going to go and I'm trying to word it nicely, terrorize a church here in Jackson. So he is being charged with terrorist threats by the Homeland Security and the FBI. So we have him. So Youth Town is not quite an option. Now, we do utilize Mr. Summers and his facility on quite a few cases, but those type of cases that we are seeing in the detention facility, those are individuals that you can't quite put an ankle monitor on and put them back out in the community. You really need to have hands on them and secure. Any other questions? Like I said, thank you so much for your time and the opportunity to be here with you. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
The program you've been watching was made possible through the generous financial support of West Tennessee PBS viewers like you. Please visit westtnpbs.org and make a donation today so that we can continue to make local programs like this possible. Thank you.
It's all about home.